What's going on, y'all? We got another episode of Flow State for you. In this one, we're going to talk about going down to every other Friday on the YouTube main channel. We're going to talk about how to avoid distractions as a full-time artist. I'm going to react to a fan freestyle. And last but not least, I'll react to my own experience freestyling for Will Smith and Martin Lawrence for Bad Boys Ride or Die. Let's go.
This is for my Flow State. Add it. Yeah. Y'all know we back at it. Ain't it crazy how the mind works magic? We gon' show you the method behind the madness, cause this is for my Flow State.
What's going on, y'all? Before we get started, I wanted to let you all know this episode of Flow State is brought to you by Ricola. Shout out to the good people over at Ricola. They make this awesome product called Throat Balm. I love this stuff because, first of all, it tastes great. It has a liquid center with honey wrapped in a caramel flavored shell. They really do taste good. But what's special about Ricola Throat Balm is that it's not so much for when you get sick, right? It's not for when you have a cold or a flu necessarily. This is really for daily throat care, which is something that I am obviously very passionate about and something I have to take seriously as someone who uses their voice every single day for their career, right? So whether I'm doing conversational stuff like the podcast or, freestyling on stage or doing 2-hour live streams or creating content, sometimes I'm having to do multiple things of this nature within the same day. So taking care of my throat is really, really important. I love Ricola Throat Balm for this very reason, but this stuff is for everybody. If you have just a general feeling of dryness in your throat, if you find yourself having to clear your throat all throughout the day, you don't even know why, all of those sort of ahem moments, if you will, Ricola Throat Balm is perfect for that. If you guys want to check it out, make sure you click the link in the description. And once again, thank you to Ricola for sponsoring this episode of Flow State. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another solo episode of Flow State Podcast with yours truly, Harry Mack. Super excited to be back in the mix with y'all. I'm here with my producer, Sam. What's going on, Sam?
Yo, we're back.
We back, baby.
Heck yeah.
Feels good to be back in the mix. How's everything been going, man?
It's good, man. It's good. Been chilling. Getting in my flow state every now and then. But
hell yeah.
Yeah, man, it's been a while since we've done a solo episode.
Yeah. It's been a little minute for sure. So excited to be back here with y'all. And I'm actually reacclimating to being in Los Angeles right now. I just flew back from Arkansas yesterday. Been doing a ton of travel this year, even though there's no tour, but ton of travel for one-off, like private event, corporate event type shows, and staying busy doing a lot of that. So it's been interesting. A lot of in and out, back and forth,
I lost track of you a while ago, man. When you said Arkansas the other day, I'm like, oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, first time in Arkansas. Shout out to Arkansas. It was nice. I liked it, actually. But, lots of travel, lots of stuff going on, man. And I guess we could talk about that, too, here real quick before we dive in. As many of you watching or listening are aware, we have shifted down to every other Friday on the main channel on YouTube. And by the time you see this, that will have already been the case for a few weeks because there's a gap between when we record and when you guys actually see these episodes. But at the time of this filming, it actually has yet to happen. This is actually being filmed before the first Friday without a video. So just to give you guys some context, we have posted a YouTube video every Friday at 9 a.m. since September 2020. I had to look that up, which is pretty crazy. Very cool. I'm super proud of that. Obviously consistency is like one of the main pillars of this brand. And it's one of the things that I focus on a lot and emphasize a lot. I'm all about showing up. I'm all about, building those routines and making sure you're able to give your all every time and locking in. And it's been so dope to do that over such a long time horizon since September 2020, all through COVID lockdown and beyond. And what a journey it has been. And, it's also been really cool for me to do that because you always hear like successful people or coaches, inspirational speakers on podcasts, at events, whatever, saying that consistency is everything, and if you want to grow and if you want to be great, it's not about going 200% once a month. It's about, showing up every day. Right? Like, you can't just like work out for 7 hours one day and be fit, if you take the next 4 weeks off. It's like, you got to work out a few times a week, right? For a shorter period of time. And you always hear people say that, but you don't always have an opportunity to test it necessarily unless you really commit and try it. And so it's been so cool to actually lock in and be consistent every Friday, 9 a.m. for years, for more than 3 years, I think. So, Yeah, really cool. And sure enough, I mean, I can say from having done that it works, right? That consistently showing up, it does allow you to grow. It allowed me to grow personally. Like I was able to grow my skill set and get much better at freestyling. I was able to get much better at creating content. And it allowed us to grow as a team. Right? Like everybody on board, we were able to lock in and get our systems together and figure out our workflows and become very efficient at creating content at a very high level and getting it out to the people. And we were also able to grow, our channel and grow our subscriber base and grow in those sort of more visible, like tangible, forward-facing ways as well. So yeah, really incredible journey. Why are we going down to every other Friday for right now? And who knows? I don't know if it's every other Friday. Probably not forever. What does forever even mean? But we may go back to every Friday. We may go back to posting even more frequently, even less frequently, depending on what's needed. But the reason we're going down to every other Friday for now is a few reasons. One, we've added a lot of things on. We've added this podcast, which I'm loving. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. Shout out to everybody that's leaving positive comments or any comments, any feedback, positive or negative. Shout out to everybody that's engaging because we love to hear from you guys. But shout out to everybody that's supporting this journey because it's very fulfilling for me. I'm really enjoying it. So we've added this podcast. We've added more original music, which has also been very fulfilling for me and sort of a new avenue, a new lane for me to express myself creatively, which has been really fulfilling. So we've added on, but we didn't necessarily subtract anything to balance that equation. And so when you account for, all the new content types, as well as the fact that, I'm ending up doing a ton of traveling this year, even without a tour and a lot of quick trips and back and forth, I felt the need to balance the equation a little bit because it was getting a little to a point where it was like I myself couldn't keep up with it. And when I started to notice that, I said, you know what? I want to make sure that this is sustainable. And I think there are times where you really need to go hard, lock in on consistency and sprint and go as fast as possible. And there's so much that you can learn from doing that. And then after you've been sprinting for a while, there are times where you also need to pump the brakes a little bit, slow things down, zoom out, kind of assess and start to refine some of those processes, make sure that the processes that we're using to create content and get it out to you guys are well oiled and are balanced and are actually sustainable so that we're not potentially burning out or creating a situation where it spins out of control and it becomes something we realize we can't maintain. So want to make sure that I'm balancing things, thinking about my personal health. With all the travel, it can be hard on you. So just making sure I'm always showing up my best and feeling really, really good and knowing that I'm able to put my best foot forward in all of this content that we make for you guys, because that is super important to me. And shout out to the community, man, because I made the post on the YouTube community channel and I said, hey, this coming Friday is going to be the first Friday since September 2020 where there will not be a main channel video. And I kind of talked a little bit about why. And it was awesome to see the comments that came back from you guys because by and large, they were just so positive and supportive. And I feel really blessed to have this community of people who want what's best for me and my team. Right. And that was just so beautiful to see because it is scary as a content creator, when you establish this precedent of, okay, we're posting every Friday at 9 a.m. That's what we do. And you build an audience based on that sort of pillar of consistency. It can be scary to say, yes, we still have a pillar of consistency, but we're going to dial back a little bit. And the last thing you want to do is alienate your audience or have people turn on you and all these thoughts go through your mind of like, oh my God, like people are going to be like, what? Not every Friday at 9 a.m. I'm out, So that's always sort of a concern, but it was just really dope to see the response that we got back from you guys. Lots of support, lots of people saying, keep it in balance, think about your health. And I really do think it is critical. And I mentioned in the post, I want to be doing freestyles long past the day when my beard is fully gray, right? I want to be doing freestyles when I'm 50, 60 years old. I really do. I say that, and I don't just say it to make a point. I say that because I really think it would be awesome for me to be wrinkled and gray and hunched over, hopefully not too hunched over, a little hunched over, and still freestyling off the top of the dome and keeping my brain sharp and staying engaged with the culture. I just think that would be such a beautiful journey. So just doing what I can to make sure we are able to do that for you guys and to make sure the content is as good as it can possibly be. Right? If I can't show up feeling rested and feeling my best, then I can't give my all for you guys, and anything less than my all wouldn't be acceptable. So that's what's going down.
Were there, I was trying to calculate how many Fridays that's been. What is it, like 200 plus at least? But also, were there times where you had to get really creative to come up with a video, like back when you first committed to being, really consistent and
For me, in the beginning, like way back in 2017, when I was just like, oh, I'm going to post every Friday no matter what, like I would end up doing like a vertical selfie video of me freestyling, off random word generator or something like that. So I would always have to think of like, what's it going to be? Yeah. By the time we sort of locked in September 2020, we kind of had our core series. And actually, it was only Omegle bars every Friday for a long time. Like through COVID, it was just Omegle bars. So it wasn't so much having to dream up what the concept would be. It was more so just making sure we had that content made, making sure we had those clips available to create the episodes.
That's crazy. Now that I think about it, I was totally there. 4 years ago sounds so long ago, but I think that's right when I came on board. So yeah, we were cranking out Omegle bars. That was fun too. Yeah.
Omegle bars every Friday. And then it became Omegle bars every other Friday. And then we shifted in different content types. Like when the world opened up and we could create Gorilla bars again, started shifting that in. Behind the bars, live show, content as well. We started shifting that in. So we started making it more of a grab bag. And then, now going down to just a main video every other Friday, which is actually a throwback to when I was editing all my own videos. The fastest I could produce was every other Friday. So that was what we were doing back with the original, like Gorilla Bars 1 through 7 type of stuff. But exciting times. Also, shout out to all the fans in Europe. I'm coming your way this summer in August. August 10th. I'll be performing at Boomtown, which is in England. Looks like a beautiful festival. The festival grounds look just gorgeous, and there's a big like environmental theme and sustainability theme to the festival, which is awesome. I'm all about taking care of the earth. So, but it's going to be amazing. Come rock with me there if you are in England or close by or want to make the trip. And then after that, I will be at Lowlands Festival, which is in the Netherlands, which is going to be really fire as well. And there's some huge names on that roster, including my favorite rapper of all time, Nas. So very excited to be included in the mix. Both of those are in August. Make sure you check them out. Would love to see some of y'all out there. And without further ado, man, let's get into some of these fan questions.
Let's do it, man. We had a bunch pile up, kind of. We had a lot of good stuff to pull from. Pulled this first one here from Faisal.
Awesome. Okay. Faisal says, and by the way, shout out to everybody that sends these questions in. We want more questions from you guys. HarryMackOfficial.com/FlowStatePod. That's how you send your questions. And feel free to send a voice memo too. I would love to actually hear the audio of your voices. We love these typed out questions. These are great, but the more it feels even more intimate and engaging if I can hear your voices or send a video. I'd love to see your face too.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Okay, dope. So Faisal asks, what personal characteristics do Harry Mack, the artist, and Harry McKenzie, the person, share in common? This is a good question because I've talked in the past about the need to sometimes view your public persona as a character, right, that you lean into and a character that you can embody. And that can be really helpful sometimes because the public-facing persona has to like receive critical feedback from people and things like that. And so it can be nice to realize that that's not everything that I am. Like the Harry Mack that the world sees is not 100% of who I am. Excuse me. And so when I step away from making a video and when I enter into, my private life and when I'm at home, it's okay if my video doesn't get a lot of views. It's okay if I get negative comments, because there's more to this human being than the forward-facing character of Harry Mack that you all see. That being said, for me, there's a ton of alignment between Harry Mack and Harry McKenzie. I would say the personal characteristics that are shared are like a love for play, Harry McKenzie, the person, since I was a kid, I've loved play, meaning I was always going into voices or making up characters, improvising in any way that I could, cracking little jokes, running around the house, making my dad crack up at whatever I was doing, inventing these stories. I was always all about play. And when music came into my world at a very young age and I was learning how to improvise as a musician, it was just the most fulfilling, most rewarding, most exciting thing to me since way back then. And I would say that Harry Mack, in many ways, is just sort of like the exemplification of my love of play. Like Harry Mack, the artist, is kind of like everything that I love the most about play, all kind of like balled up into one artist. So that part, I would say, is universal across the board. I would say that both Harry Mack and Harry McKenzie are incredibly, like, I guess, ambitious, passionate, like motivated to try to, I'm motivated to try to better myself and to try to present myself in the best way that I not present myself in the best way that I possibly can, but to actually show up as the best version of myself, and to feel my best and to do the best work that I possibly can, and to sort of like push myself and kind of push through any limiting self-beliefs that I might have. And so I had to do that as the person, Harry McKenzie, to even present the artist Harry Mack to the world. I had to push past the limiting self-belief that I couldn't actually be a professional MC, that I couldn't actually be a rapper. That's not realistic. Nobody will like it. I'm not good enough, et cetera, et cetera. I had to sort of push past that and tackle those fears and emerge on the other side of that wall that I had to blast through in order to put Harry Mack out into the world. And then I would say Harry Mack, the artist, continues to do that. I try to push past any limiting self-beliefs that I have for myself as an artist. And through my freestyles, as many of you know, I share a lot of messages of bettering yourself, maintaining balance, as a callback to what we were talking about just a couple minutes ago, and figuring out how to not just be a better artist, yes, but also be a better human being. So I would say those are some of the personal characteristics that are shared. And also I would say a love for storytelling. I love telling stories, and I've always loved telling stories. And rapping is just one way that a person is able to tell stories, right? Being a creative person is all about telling stories, whether you're doing that through songs or through paintings, or through graphic design or whatever your medium is. Artists are storytellers. And, back in the day, like when we were in middle school and high school, my crew of friends, we'd be mobbing around, and anytime something crazy happened to us and, we were filling in the rest of the crew who wasn't there, they'd always be like, yo, let Harry tell the story. Let Harry tell the story, And I was honored to be able to rise to that occasion and be the storyteller for the group. But, the homies just loved the way that I told stories because I love to tell stories, and I think that came through, and I was able to kind of like paint the picture, and I really enjoy doing that. I enjoy painting pictures and telling stories and connecting with other human beings. So that applies to both Harry McKenzie and Harry Mack.
That's dope, man. Is there a main difference that like first comes to mind? Yeah,
I think the main difference is that like Harry McKenzie is pretty introverted in many ways, and I like to just read books. I like to lie on the floor at my house and put headphones on and listen to albums, I don't really like going out to loud bars or clubs anymore. I went through my phase, but now as a 34-year-old guy, I'm not really into it. I prefer, if I am going to hang out with people, which is very important, obviously, but I prefer doing it in smaller groups or in situations where I can talk to people and hear what they're saying and not say, what? And spit in their ear. I said, how's it going? So yeah, but then Harry Mack, on the other hand, will hop out on stage in front of 2,000 people, booming PA system, make some fucking noise.
You're what they can't hear their friend over.
Exactly. I am bringing people into those environments that Harry McKenzie tends to avoid. Music venue, though, I'll be in a music venue for sure, man, because I love seeing live music. But yeah, I think that's the main difference. Harry Mack is very outgoing, very unafraid to approach strangers and engage in conversation, and just put himself out there and take that risk, which is cool because I do feel like Harry Mack, the artist, And by the way, can we just get a blanket like apology for me talking about myself in third person for the first like 20 minutes of this podcast? I feel like it's so cringe in a way and it's so obnoxious. But I'm just attempting to answer this question in the format that it was presented to me. But please don't mistake this for me feeling like I am all important and should be talked about in the third person. My God, that's just awful. No, but I would say the artist Harry Mack is in many ways an integration of the part of my personality that was like wilding out in my young 20s. So like, you know, as many of you know, like I've had sort of my journey with substances and kind of like addictive tendencies and you know, there was a phase of many years where I was kind of raging like all the time, out there in the world, partying, getting messed up and becoming blackout drunk and all kinds of things and things that ended up not being healthy for me or good for me. However, it's not as simple or black and white as like, oh, everything that happened during that time was bad and everything that I'm doing now is good. You know, that's obviously way too much of an oversimplification. The thing is, when I was out there raging and having the time of my life, there was a lot of good energy behind that too. Like I was very social. I was the life of the party in many ways. I was excited to be around people that I loved and that I enjoyed spending time with. And I was also incredibly excited to engage with and meet strangers, you know, and just connect with human beings, which is something that I'm still passionate about doing now as an artist. It's like a huge pillar of the content that I make, right? It's not just me freestyling alone in a room. Sometimes it's that, but more often it's me connecting with strangers in the world, listening to them, learning from them, you know, recognizing that everybody has something valuable to share. And there was a lot of that energy going on in my 20s when I was out there partying, you know. It wasn't just like this hedonistic, like vice chasing thing. Like that was a part of it, and eventually that became too much of it and it became harmful and I had to make a change. But the version of me and the part of my personality that wants to show up and like turn up, you know, is an important part of who I am. And so, you know, it would be a detriment to myself and it would be like, it wouldn't be self-love, right? Or self-acceptance for me to be like, I hate that version. That guy's bad. You know, he's a bad person. Get him out, extract him from my spirit. I don't want to see him again. No, of course not. That's part of who I am. And so what's really cool about this artist, Harry Mack, right, is that that's a way that I can integrate that energy. I can still show up and turn up. I can still jump around on stage and yell. I can say, make some fucking noise. I can turn the volume up and I can engage with strangers with full confidence. And I can walk up to people in the street and not be afraid to talk with them. And that is it really is a part of who I am. So it's beautiful to be able to integrate that in a way that's positive and works with, you know, like something that's sustainable, right? And something that actually does add on to the quality of my life.
Yeah, dude. What an outlet, specifically like the shows, just getting on stage to like a trap beat and just in front of like 2,000 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I've never really thought about that avenue that you bring that up. And I think that's actually like, that is really important. We're kind of like quick to like ball everything up into like, oh, you had that moment and now like you can't ever go back to a club or something. Like it's cool to see you like, come around to have that healthy, you know, take on it now.
Totally, man. Yeah.
Awesome.
I love it.
I've got one here from Dave.
All right, fire. Dave says, what do you do when someone throws you a curveball and asks you to freestyle on a subject you know little or nothing about? And in parentheses, I know I couldn't freestyle on string theory. Okay, dope. Great question. I personally feel like one of the core skills of improv is learning how to free associate around any subject that's given to you or any word that's given to you. So I really subscribe to that like notion of yes and in improv, right? Where you're never saying no. So if someone says freestyle about string theory, it's not no, it's like yes and. So for me, now if it's something I really don't know anything about, like, you know, string theory, I don't know that much about it. I know a little bit, but I don't know that much about it. I think it's totally okay to say yes, and can you give me some context, right? Like, give me some stuff on string theory, you know, because presumably if somebody gave me the subject string theory and asked me to freestyle about it, I would assume it's something that they're excited about. So I might say like, hey, can you share what's the coolest fact you know about string theory? And they might just share one thing. And more than often, that'll be enough for me to say, oh, okay, I can work with that because I can relate that to other things. And honestly, I think that's the big piece right there, is being able to relate it to other things. Some people have commented on my freestyles or videos in general and said, you know, it's so impressive that you know so much about so many different things. And while I appreciate that compliment, I don't know how true that actually is. And I'm not just trying to like, be super humble or discredit the things that I do know about. But for example, I don't think I would do well on Jeopardy at all. I don't think I would make it onto Jeopardy. I don't do good at trivia night. I have very specific knowledge because there are things that I've been very obsessed with in my life, like music. But even within music, there are whole genres that I'm not knowledgeable about hardly at all, like rock and roll, which is such a huge blanket genre that encompasses so much. And I'm not that hip to it. Jazz, yeah, you know, within certain eras. Hip hop, definitely. The drums specifically, yes. But you know, I have specified knowledge. I think the reason that people feel that way, though, and the reason that people give that compliment of, wow, it's amazing that you know so much about so many different things, is actually what they're actually noticing is the skill that I've developed of being able to free associate. And I think that's really the crux of it all. So I think my personal belief is that we all know a lot more about a much wider range of things than we actually give ourselves credit for, right? Because I can say that I do not watch basketball. Like, I do not watch the NBA. I don't follow along with it. You know, I'm not a sports guy. You all have heard me say that. I'm very inspired by elite athletes. And so I'm into it in that sense. But I don't have a team that I follow or anything like that. And yet, when given the word basketball, you know, I'm able to free associate, right? Basketball, bounce, dribble, free throw, layup, half court shot, buzzer beater, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, you know, arena, fans, stands, jumbotron, you know, all these things. Vince Carter, through the legs dunk contest, jump over the car, LeBron James, you know, whatever, Lakers, Blazers. Okay, so I can do all of that, and if each of those is a couplet, then I could freestyle for 6 straight minutes about basketball, right? But it's not because I actually like, you know, like Khan from our team, and I'm sure you as well, Sam, like you could actually reference much more in-depth, like nuanced information that one would have to be a basketball fan to actually understand. And to any freestyler that can do that, that's great, because that means your bars about basketball can be a much richer, right? But almost everybody knows that a basketball bounces, and almost everybody knows at least one NBA team name if they grow up in the U.S. And because, you know, they're probably close to a city that has a team if they don't live in a city that has a team. And everybody knows who Michael Jordan is, you know, pretty much in the U.S. and around the world. I mean, he's one of the most famous athletes of all time, probably the most famous athlete of all time, right? So with something, bringing it back to your question with string theory, okay, I don't know that much about string theory, but I can still free associate, right? String theory, scientists, atoms, subatomic particles, universe, Einstein, theory of relativity, pluck your heartstrings, violin strings, guitar strings, chords, vibrations, you know, testing, test tube, Bunsen burner, lab coat, okay, on and on and on. So, God, you know, I mean, wow, we can get all the way to God quite easily from string theory. So I think that's really the skill to develop, you know, and you don't have to know a lot about everything. You just have to develop the skill of opening your mind to be able to free associate smoothly and quickly. And the cool thing about free association too is you can make a giant leap and be in a whole new area. So if from string theory, when I went to guitar string, maybe you know a lot about guitar, and then guitar string, Jimi Hendrix, electric, Fender, Stratocaster, amplifier, stage, you know, and so then you can play over there. And it stems from string theory without being directly about string theory. So once you start playing with this and opening your mind up to it and working on the skill, it becomes kind of infinite, you know.
It's kind of hard to see that though, unless you've practiced. It's easy to hit a wall when you come across a topic that you aren't really familiar with. I'm curious, were you able to, like, if you ever were given a paper in high school or something that, you just missed the boat on the book or something, were you able to kind of turn it around and usually put together a decent paper because you were able to kind of pivot in all those areas?
Yeah, I mean, in high school, I really didn't read any of the books. And I still wrote the papers and I still got good grades.
That's what I was wondering.
I think, I'm sure it had something to do with, some of these skills here. I also think, for me, a lot of high school was like figuring out how it worked. Like I could figure out how to write a good paper, and then you could figure out about Spark Notes, and you could kind of figure out how to. You didn't really need to read the book. I learned to do a paper that would receive a good grade. Yeah. But obviously that's not. Look, I would have gained a lot more from the experience if I was open to actually doing the work and reading the books. But I kind of learned early on. I was like, oh, okay. I think I kind of figured this system out. I kind of get how this works.
Yeah. It's just an interesting skill to be able to pivot and shine light on, this area over here that you do know about. It seems useful, man.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Even back then, that's a useful skill, man.
Definitely, man. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, let's pull up another one here. Let's see. We got one from Sam here.
Awesome. Hey.
Yo.
Sam, different Sam.
Not me.
Yeah, we're really not getting any submissions. Sam has had to submit. No, different Sam says, I'm about to start my full-time career as a visual artist. Congratulations. My main medium is pen on paper, and I was wondering, what sorts of red herrings have tempted you off the path of being a creative person? How do you personally balance the art, the business, and potential false avenues? Excuse me. Yeah, this is a great question. Well, yeah, first of all, congrats, man. That's awesome that you're about to start your full-time career. And pen on paper, I'm very curious about that. Okay, visual artist, so I guess like sketching probably, right? With pen on paper. Something of that sort. Because I was wondering if you meant like you were a writer, but when you say visual artist, I think that pretty much clears that up. So awesome, man. Congrats on taking the leap. Yeah, red herrings, right? Which are like distractions or false paths, kind of, right? So what sorts of red herrings have tempted you off the path of being a creative person? I don't think too many red herrings have tempted me off the path of being creative, because I've always been most passionate about being creative and identified most as a creative. But there have been plenty of distractions and false paths, within my career of being a creative. And I think to me, the biggest sort of red herring, as you put it, that distracts creative people on their journey is, which I've fallen victim to myself, is this notion that somebody is coming to save you, And what I mean by that is when we were kids, like in middle school, it was all about getting signed. Like we thought that if we wanted to make it as rappers, that we needed to get signed to a record label, because all the famous rappers that we saw on TV or heard on the radio or listened to on CDs were signed to a label. And even when we got into like underground rap, it was still, it was like Quantum Projects was the label, or Definitive Jux, these independent, smaller labels, but there was still always a label there. And so the whole thing was like, yo, maybe one day we'll get signed. Granted, when we were 11, 12 years old, and it was a very logical thought to have, especially in that time. And to be fair, in that time, you kind of did have to get signed. I mean, that is kind of how it worked, right? It was like, you try to build enough buzz locally that eventually you can get signed to a label, and then you have distribution and you can put an album out and you can potentially be on the radio, and you have a budget for a music video and you can really be an artist and be seen by the world. And so that's how that used to work. I feel like now in the era of social media and this sort of world we live in today, where everyone is kind of able to leverage these free platforms to promote themselves and build an audience organically, I think that there are still a lot of people, and myself included at a certain time, that maintain this sort of older way of thinking about it, where it's like, okay, if I build enough of an audience, or if I prove that I'm good enough, then somebody bigger and better is going to come along and sort of save me, or like some huge artist is going to come and put me on, and then I'll really be set, or some management company is going to come in and sign me and want to work with me, and they're going to be able to connect me with the biggest artist in the world, and then it's going to be game over. Like then I'll be on, or I'll sign with a big record label and get $1 million advance, and I'll rise to that occasion, and my follow-up will be just as good, and I'll recoup that 1 million times 10, and I'll be on the radio. And that does happen sometimes, right? To be clear, like that is something that occurs, but to me, that's like winning the lottery. That is like incredibly rare that happens that way, and that it pans out really well, and the artist just excels to superstardom. It does happen, but it's super rare. And I think that in the past, I would sort of fall into that pattern of thinking as well. It's like, okay, I'm building my brand on social media. I'm putting all these pieces in place so that eventually some big organization or company can come in and really give me the lift I need. And then it'll just be smooth sailing, and I'll be chilling, and I'll be winning, and it'll be great. I now feel like that's not a productive game plan for most artists out there, independent artists out there that have a goal of succeeding as an artist and doing this as their living full time. I think it's never a good business plan to be hoping that you win the lottery, right? That's not a solid business plan. So, and to me, hoping that eventually somebody comes along and makes your dreams come true is the artist equivalent of banking on winning the lottery. So to me, it's a much more productive mindset to take full responsibility for your own success, to say, look, nobody is coming to save me. I am solely responsible for my success. I'm also solely responsible for my failure, right? All of the wins, all of the losses, it's all on me. And when you go into that perspective, the cool thing is then you can really become unstoppable, because then you really start taking the actions that are required to have success and to build your own success. When you enter this mindset of like, oh, nobody's coming along to save me, then you start posting content on social media, right? You start replying to every comment that comes back to you, because you're like, these are my first fans, right? These could be the people that support me for the long haul. This is my core. You start using membership platforms like Patreon to monetize and to allow your core fans to support you monetarily so that you can build and grow. Maybe you're working another job and you're trying to transition out of it to go full time, like Sam here, who's about to go full time. And so you start doing those things as an independent artist, and you take full responsibility for your success, and you iterate and you learn and you grow and you make mistakes, and those mistakes make you a better person, and you become the successful artist that you're dreaming to be. And it's totally within your control, and it's totally possible. So to any artist out there that's watching this that wants to do it, it is absolutely possible. 100%. It's within reach for you. You just have to be willing to take full responsibility for it and do the work that's necessary, and not get distracted by some of these things that come along as you're building that might seem sort of like too good to be true. Like, oh, I'm just going to sign with this person and then they're going to make my career happen. And I feel like for me, like back, especially early on, 2017, 2018, when there was a lot of momentum for me for the first time, and I was going viral for the first time, and things were building quickly. There was a lot of, not a ton, but there was some outreach from like management companies, different agencies, et cetera, reaching out that are like, oh, we want to partner. We want to make you huge. And, sometimes I would entertain that and be like, oh wow, maybe this is the answer. Like maybe if I go with these people, that they're going to make me huge. And I have found over the years that really nobody understands, my vision for what I'm trying to do more than me, obviously, right? And that is, I'm sure, true for every other artist that's watching this. The type of artist that you want to become. And so the more that you can take full ownership over that and full responsibility over that, I think the better. And oftentimes those dreams of some big opportunity coming and being your big break are more of a distraction than anything else, because there's plenty of work to be done right here and now.
Totally.
Yeah. And then just to answer the second part of this question as well, how do you personally balance the art, the business, and potential false avenues? Yeah, this is a great question as well. In terms of the false avenues, we kind of addressed that part already, but balancing the art and the business is really, really important. And I think this comes down to flow, which is the name of this podcast, flow state. When I was young, I was freestyling for the sake of freestyling. I wasn't doing it for any other purpose. when I was like in middle school, going over to Brady's house and just freestyling for hours at a time, or in high school with my boys in State of Mind, freestyling for hours and hours, we were only doing it for the inherent joy that it brought. And we were doing it to enter that flow. And those were such amazing times, you know? And so now at this point, like this is my full-time career, right? And so I think, you know, sometimes now, like I can get distracted or, and this is another kind of false avenue to a degree, is I can get sort of stuck on like, oh, like what's the best way for me to leverage my freestyle skill to grow this business? You know, like how can I be utilizing my freestyles to get more views and grow my subscriber base and, get more, right? And it's all about, sometimes I can get distracted thinking about how I can use this skill to grow and to build this business even bigger. And to be clear, that's important, and I do want to grow this business, and building a business is something that I've become passionate about and something that's been very rewarding and very fulfilling for me. But if too much of my energy is spent on leveraging freestyle to grow the platform, then I might find myself in a place where I'm not doing enough freestyling just for the love. And that's when it starts to feel out of balance. So for me, it's like remembering, oh yeah, if I'm not giving myself enough opportunities to just enter full flow state while I'm freestyling and to do it kind of like for the love of the craft and for the love of the game, then it's going to be out of balance and I'm not going to be happy personally, right? So, and I am lucky in that I have created a lot of opportunity. Like a lot of the content that I create allows me to enter flow state. Like when I'm out there making gorilla bars, I'm entering that flow state when I'm rhyming for groups out there. And it is bringing me that joy that I felt when I was rapping at Brady's house in the attic, you know? So that's really beautiful. The live streams even can often are an exercise of, once I warm up into it, it's like an hour and a half or more of this flow state event, which is so beautiful. And so, you know, I'm really lucky that I get to do what I love and do what brings me this experience of flow for a living full time. But, you know, there are also responsibilities for me as like the owner of a business and to figure out how to grow the business. And that's great and all. And I love it. And it is fulfilling and it is important. But maintaining the flow, I think, is critical for any artist and any creative person out there, because that's the reason you love doing what you do. Right. So we don't want to ever get too out of touch with that.
It's interesting timing, just judging by kind of your opening discussion. You know,
Yeah.
You mentioned balance a handful of times when we're talking about kind of dialing back just to keep things in balance. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I guess you're kind of actually putting it on display.
Definitely.
With just that even.
Yep. Absolutely. Dope. Well, let's see. We're 48 minutes in. I think let's go on to,
You want to jump?
yeah.
forward?
What do we got next?
Let's see. All right, so those are great questions submitted, but we're also getting some freestyles. So we've got
Yes.
freestyle here.
Yes. All right. Shout out to everyone that's sending their freestyles in. Freestylers, MCs, rappers. Hit me with your freestyles, man. You already know the address. HarryMackOfficial.com/FlowStatePod. Send in videos of you freestyling. We have pre-selected beats, so make sure you pull beats from our folder so that we don't run into any copyright issues. But I would love to hear from you guys and give you some feedback on your freestyle. So that's what we're going to do next.
Dope.
Let's get it.
All right, this one is from Will O.
Will O.
There's already kind of a bar there.
Shout out to Will. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Yo, I be on a beat and I'm way too lovey. If you're stepping incorrect, then I might get glovey indeed. All of these pages I turned and burnt. Straight from the Mack, that's where I learned indeed. I studied him, then I be fucking watching a YouTube video. Then I be boshing up in the kitchen. Then I be ditching, switching up in my flow. In fact, whipping with my bro. Fuck me, G, I'ma come through in a hype train. And I be fucking overtaking. Catch me in a right lane, over that white shit indeed, spit loads. Riding around this track called a road indeed, I don't care, trust me. Stepping incorrect and I damage him. And I make that road track comparison. Already been done before. Up in a rap game, I'm the lord, I swear down. All of these facts I blare now. And I don't really care now. Coming with a lyrical rare sound. Talk about lyrics, my shit's unfinished cause I'm way too gone in the flow. Stretch too long but I'm chilling with my bro indeed. Both of us on mic, we likely smash this. Then I might fucking take rhyme, catch this. Then I fucking throw it back. I do not care. I'm singing chat. Wait, see how I'm flinging rats. Fuck me over this shit. I be coming in lyrically damager. Already said that, running out of stamina. This is off head chat, coming off top of the dome. I be like straight in a zone. I be that lyrical thug, and I'm stepping on the flows like I'm bringing out a mug. Indeed, I be going in gym, and I'm getting too swollen. I eat more beats like food at a bowl. I be lyrically nice, and I just stay rice. I ain't gonna show you that. Oh, I'm gonna do with my bro and the facts, bro. Wait, already said. Word to H Mack. Trust me, G, he's got that DP. Word to H Mack, and I had to repeat. Really, the goat in the game. He be going insane. I'll be floating, fucking break off the chain, and I never once hang with a lame. Don't know.
Hey, Will O, dope, man. Thank you so much for the submission. That was dope, man. I liked it. Lots of great stuff going on. I would say the highlight of that for me was the rhythm and the flow of it. I love that you went over the trap beat so that you could, which is an opportunity for like double time cadences and more kind of rhythmic variety, and you leaned into that and you were killing it in terms of the rhythm and the flow. Like, you were very much in the pocket the whole time. And I will say, for me, that's the most important part. I think that at the end of the day, when we're freestyling, we're making music, right? And so it has to feel good. And how do we make music feel good? Well, we have to be in the pocket and we have to have good rhythm. And so you were nailing that part. The flow was awesome. Lots of variety in the flow as well, which I loved. You would mix it up and change your cadence up and I mean, it was good. The rhythm was very on point. So I'm curious actually if you play any instruments or have studied music or anything like that. But the flow was really awesome. And then I would say the area that you can work on would be kind of like the content and the coherency of what you're saying. So I think in the beginning, I'm hearing like in the first, like I would say the first 70% of that freestyle, I'm hearing a lot of kind of like crutches, or filler phrases as we call them, which I use as well. So nothing wrong with filler phrases, but a lot of like kind of things coming back in, stepping incorrect, which is I use that one too, so it's a great one. But stepping incorrect came up 2 or 3 times, and then something that a lot of early freestylers deal with is, saying fucking or fuck or whatever, or shit on the shit fucking for the, swearing essentially to navigate through a freestyle, which is a very common thing because it's an easy way to kind of like fill in syllable gaps and fill up space. And so I hear that going on. I would say that long term, the goal should be to reduce that, not because there's anything wrong with swearing at all. You can swear as much as you want in your music, just because you want to be swearing when you really mean it and using those words to emphasize your message instead of using them kind of as a default to fill in space. So for me, I think like the biggest skill that you could work on in your freestyling is working on creating coherent phrases and that don't rely on crutches or filler material that's repeated throughout. So original coherent phrases. And so for me, the best way to practice that is either with a word generator or just the objects around the room, but just taking an object like remote and then coming up with some kind of coherent phrase, ideally in rhythm, that ends with the word remote. So I take control like I'm gripping the remote. Or got rappers on mute because I'm holding the remote. Turn up the volume like the remote. Don't change the channel if you holding the remote. So these are all, and those are short kind of like half bar ones. You could practice doing longer ones too. Rappers think they cute, but I got them all on mute. I'm the one that's in control because I'm holding the remote. Turning up the volume, but don't change the channel. Keep it locked here if you holding the remote. Those are longer phrases, right? But they're coherent in the sense that they make sense, and the material that I'm using to form those phrases relates directly to remote. If I was doing bottle, then we're going full throttle. But no, if you're going bottle, then short phrases would be like liquid, kind of like the water in the bottle. Spit H2O like what's inside the bottle. Go ahead and take a sip, all about the bottle. Half full, half empty. Peep the bottle, right? Or you could do the long phrases again, like positive or negative, half whole, half empty. You tell me what you see in the bottle. Keep them hydrated. My flow would be moving like H2O when I pour it out the bottle. These aren't rhymes, by the way. These aren't rhyming couplets because I'm not practicing actually creating rhymes. I'm just practicing creating coherent phrases and sentences that make sense and have to do with the object, as opposed to relying on sort of like filler and stock kind of like things that you can say to buy time in between hitting the target words, which would be like, stepping up to me, don't fucking try it because I'm fucking rhyming and y'all know that I got the remote, right? So it works. It's nice in terms of like the rhythmic feel, and you're filling in that gap with words, which is not easy to do in and of itself, but those words don't have very much to do with a remote. So they kind of just can be said at any time. And then what ends up happening is often we start repeating ourselves and saying these same sort of like connective material all the time. So that would be my advice to you. And by the way, you can practice them out of rhythm too. Sometimes it's nice to even just get really kind of like basic with it and hone in and, to be like what's something I could say about hand, and it doesn't even have to be in rhythm. You just be like, I hold the whole entire planet inside of my hand, Oh, there's something. All right, that makes sense. Or give me a sign like you're waving your hand, Or I built this on my own. You ain't got to give me a hand, I connect to beats kind of like the fingers to the hand. Predict the future. I read the palm. Give me your hand. These aren't even in rhythm. And so you're just kind of training your mind to think about like a coherent, meaningful phrase that you could say about any word. And the last thing I wanted to say too is actually your like coherency got way stronger at the end when you started pulling in the objects, which I thought was really dope. I can't remember what the first object was. What was the first object?
Was it a teacup or was it?
Oh yeah, the mug. Yeah. When you pulled in the mug, now there was like this target and this frame of reference, and then you were able to create like coherent phrases about those things. And then you pulled in the bowl, and you said earlier I ate rice. So then it started to be more customized to the moment. And I think that's what was missing from the first part is sort of like customized original phrases with coherency that felt like, oh, this is new. This is happening this one time in this freestyle. So that's what I would work on. But man, lots of great things already happening. Loved your energy, loved your vibe, loved the rhythmic flow, which is so much of the battle. You already got that going. I would much rather have a really solid rhythmic flow and need to work on the content and coherency than the other way around, because at the end of the day, it's music, it's rap, it needs to feel good, and you're already doing that part. So big shout out to Will O. Thank you so much for your submission, bro, and wishing you nothing but the best on your continued freestyle practice. I'm gonna have my eyes and ears open for you, man, and keep on doing your thing, bro. Much love.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
And he did write a message here. I just want to briefly, I thought it was kind of cool. He was saying how he wasn't even warmed up for this, but he was warmed up, but he said it felt kind of average, but for him personally.
Yeah.
And I thought it was cool that he's just kind of like rode that wave, and he's like hit send, and now it's on Flow State, and that's dope, man.
Hell yeah, definitely, man. Well, that's the great thing about improvising is you it forces you to be honest. You can't fake it, and you can't artificially be above the level that you're actually at. That's why I really love improvising. It has to happen in the moment, and so it's like the Navy SEAL thing of like you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your training, and that's what happens when we freestyle. So yeah, it's not your like most inspired freestyle with the perfect circumstances. That's a good representation of your skill level. It's actually the one where you were distracted, not warmed up, something went wrong, there was a problem with the headphones, the mic messed up, the sound system was messed up, somebody was yelling something from this side that distracted you. Then how do you sound? That's your level, So I really respect the fact that that Will sent us one that he felt was his average baseline. That's awesome, dude. You got the right mindset around it. And that's the mindset that's going to allow you to grow and get really good. So, man, I'm not worried about you getting better and progressing, because you're looking at it the right way. So, shout out to Will.
Shout out Will.
Hell yeah. Speaking of Will,
what a segue.
We're going to react to the freestyle I did for Bad Boys 4 Ride or Die with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. This was filmed about 3 weeks ago at the time of this filming. Dropped on May 17th. And currently has 1.5 million views on YouTube. I think more than 3 million views on Instagram, going crazy. Shout out to everybody that's watching it and supporting it and engaging with it. Really appreciate it. It was an awesome moment and opportunity for me. So I'm excited to react to this bad boy.
Oh, yeah, man.
No pun intended.
Were you nervous for this?
Yeah, I was a bit nervous, mainly because I was obviously it's a huge opportunity, and I care and I want to do a good job. So I always have a little bit of nerves anytime I perform, but especially if I'm performing for A-list celebrities. But also I was pretty exhausted because I had just flown back from Chicago, I think. And before that, I was somewhere else. So I had done a couple events in a row, and I actually went straight from the airport in LAX to this event. Wow. So yeah, I landed at the airport, got in a car, and got dropped off here. So yeah, I was going off adrenaline for sure. And then after this, like when I got in the Uber to finally go home, I was just like conked, dude. I was so tired.
It's kind of similar to the Ice Cube experience, only with that one you almost had like 4 hours of sleep at least.
Yeah, that one I had one night of sleep, but we flew back from Hawaii. So before Ice Cube, I like landed back in LA, got home like late at night, like 10 or something, went to sleep, woke up, and early morning call for the Ice Cube thing. So yeah, I'm always flying in from somewhere else before I get to do these, but obviously super grateful for the opportunities, and yeah, this was amazing. Hey. Honor to meet you, man. Harry Mack.
Harry Mack.
Yes, sir.
Harry
yes,
Mack
sir.
in the building.
Joy to be here with you. My name's Harry Mack.
Harry Mack.
How we feeling?
Good name, man. Listen.
Oh, thank you.
We are ready.
Beautiful.
We are very ready.
Man, well.
Excited to talk to you, man.
Yes, sir.
Excited to talk to you.
Well, I'm honored to be sitting here talking to both of you guys, man. This is super dope. I'm gonna do a freestyle rap for you guys. So
love that, Harry Mack.
yes, so
This is the man that can judge you.
I already know. I'm sitting here with a legend, man. Two legends, but a legend in hip hop as well. So I don't have anything pre-memorized or prepared or pre-planned in advance. I'm gonna improvise off the top of the dome.
Love that.
So can I get like some random words or topics or suggestions from you guys?
Words or topics.
Things to incorporate into the freestyle.
Money.
Yes.
Money.
Miami. Beautiful. Let's get 2 or 3 from each of you, maybe. So I can test my memory.
Friendship.
Money, Miami, friendship.
Ass.
Ass.
Can we do that? We good with that? Ass. Yes. All right.
So you need more than 4?
Let's get 6. We'll get 2 more.
Horses.
Horses. There we go. Yes. Horses. One more.
And falafel.
Yes. I love it. All right. Pause it real quick. Don't remind me unless I ask. I'm always curious. I'm still curious why he thought of falafel. Like, is that what they have for lunch? I don't know. Like, where did falafel come from, or was it truly random? Also, some people in the comments were like, you should have said no food, no animals, because we got both horses and falafel. But in these cases, I don't want to restrict too much. I want to just let them do what they do. And so anyway, it turned out great regardless. Horses. One more.
And falafel.
Yes. I love it. All right. Let me review. Don't remind me unless I ask, because I got to make sure I got to memorize here.
Yes.
We're going to go with money. Miami. Friendship. Ass. Horses. And falafel. Those are the words?
Yes.
Should we try this?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to pull a beat up here real quick so we can make this happen.
All
right. Let's see what we got.
Man, this is so dope.
Pull a random.
Here we go. Epic. Oh, let me get this coming out of my speaker, though. Hold on.
You keep it down there. That sounds like about 90 BPMs. You're down in there.
Yeah.
Something so you can find it.
Something comfortable. Yeah. You already know.
Once you're up at 99, 100, you start,
Yes.
You have to double time it at that point.
Exactly. We're not going into Big Daddy Kane territory yet. All right, wait, pause it.
What you got?
I had wished after this happened that I had like a beat that switched into a double time beat halfway or something like that. Because I was like, oh, Will, man, I get what you're saying, but I can do the double time too, dog. I can do the double time too.
Watch this.
But no, but it's awesome, because he's an MC himself, obviously, and so it's cool that he's dialed into the musical aspects as well. He's like, oh, that's about 90 BPM. Okay, dope. That'll be a nice, comfortable flow. So it's always cool performing for somebody that has real perspective on what's happening on the musical side.
Yeah, I mean, you're just starting the beat, and you can tell nothing's lost on him.
Yeah, exactly. He's dialed in. Yep. Yeah. Living in LA where every day is sunny.
When I'm spitting, I be stacking up the money. Y'all know we got the paper, we keep it in the stash. I'm getting the money, getting the green, getting the cash. Yeah, I said we never sell our soul, I truly meant that.
Yeah.
We about to get the money, reinvest, and then we spend that. We
Yeah.
building up the finance. If they step to me, yo, they don't even stand a slight chance. Check the way that I maneuver, though. We got a lot of my freestyles sound hotter. Trying to get more money so I can cop the fly Pradas. Yeah, hey,
yeah.
y'all know we get into the new loop. I'm trying to look something like Will Smith in the blue suit. We really about to take it there, making people feel this. When they become a deliverance right off of the mental, they know I'm the realest. Yeah, hey yo, I grip the mic, deliver all these damn frees. Matter of fact, they feel me from LA out to Miami. Anywhere we at, man, my flow's in reach. I said I'm about to take these lyrics out to Miami Beach. I said anywhere we at, y'all know that we deliver. Welcome to Miami, yo, that jam sounds sicker. H-Mack, I'm about to break it down.
Pause it.
50 years of hip.
Welcome to Miami is one of the first songs I heard on the radio as a kid when my sister was like, oh, the cool kids listen to Z100 and 95.5. And I was like, all right, let me hear what that sounds like. I was in like second grade, and I'll never forget it. We were in the living room at our house in Portland, and I think she put on Z100, which is like the pop station, but they still played some hip hop. And yeah, the first song I heard was like, Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, cinco, seis. Bump, ba-dum, bump, bump, ba-bump, ba. And then the second song I heard was Welcome to Miami by Will Smith. So had to throw that in there, man.
For sure, man.
Crazy.
Pop, we make them listen, it's hot. I be doing what I'm feeling, and y'all know they can't end this. Ride or die, me and this beat, we form a friendship. Yeah, y'all know we stay connected like best friends. They about to feel these lyrics from the east to the west end. Anywhere we at, we connected like family. Cause when I be spitting right off of the mental, I'm bringing y'all that insanity. I got these rappers panicky, they knowin' the deal. I'm never faking when creating, I'll be flowing for real. I said, we getting cash and I be on the task. I got people straight up dancing, got you shaking your ass. Next level, I'ma kill the game truly. When I spit, man, I got them all shaking they booty. I turn into a movie, I do me. Y'all know they want me to spit strong freeze and have the people shaking they donkey. I be going beyond. My freestyle's gorgeous, so fresh with it, the cameras gotta record this. Yeah, hey yo, I'm riding up on them horses. Wait, then again, ride or die, we pulling up in Porsches. Yeah, when I spit, they know the rhymes I'm repping. I might pull up in the horse, that's a 911. Yeah, Mack, I make it known. I turn rappers to more cowards, pulling up in the 911, plenty horsepower. Yeah, y'all know that my freestyles are colossal. By comparison, my competition all be sounding awful. Just to come through with these hot flows, it should probably be unlawful. And I'm eating up these beats kinda like they a falafel. Yeah, I know we going off at the top. When it come to freestyles, man, the Mack don't stop. I'm really out here doing this. They know the flow is too legit. When rhyming in alignment, I'm shining just like your crucifix. Yeah, more territory I'm exploring. Live connected with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. Y'all know I kill it proudly. They know all about me, man. I'm here to save the day like Marcus and Mike Lowry. Check the way we do it, dog. I rock the style, the hottest child. I'm like albino crocodile. How I'm snapping on my haters. When I'm rapping, it be major. I'm more royal, sir. Wait, hold up. I hope that's not a spoiler. I'ma keep it in motion. I'm killing it truly. I bubble like jacuzzi. I was blessed to see that movie. Bad Boys 4's coming. Y'all know we get live. And by the way, can I get a cameo in Bad Boys 5? Let's go.
Nice.
Oh man, thank you so much.
All right, pause it real quick
man.
before because we can watch the reaction too. But couple things. One, when I did the line about hold up, it's ride or die, we pulling up in Porsches. That was kind of the first time that Martin Lawrence actually broke and like really gave it up and laughed out loud. Like so, that was a really crucial line for me because Will Smith. Shout out to Will Smith, man. Such a legend, obviously. And he was just very hype and very tapped in from the beginning, you know, which was awesome, man. It's such a cool thing for me to experience. But Martin was a little more like he was smiling. It wasn't like he wasn't down, but I felt like I was like, oh, let me see though if I can really like break him, you know, and really make it obvious there. He's like, oh, okay, dope. And that was the first line that did that. And then the whole Porsche scheme was pretty fire, and he was really locked in on that.
And these like press days are kind of known to be, I mean, I don't have any experience with it, but they're known to be kind of long for like the people, you know, that are cast members or whatever, right? So who
Yeah.
knows? He was probably been there all day. So.
Oh, dude, totally. Yeah. I mean, and that's what makes it even more awesome that they gave it up like this. Cause yeah, I was late in the day as well. So, yeah, I was tired cause I came straight from the flight, but I'm sure they were tired as well. Cause these are like called content days or press days. And so they do like most of the interviews that you see circulating around on different media outlets for the movie, they all get recorded on one day. And then there's various like influencer engagements, which I was one of. There were others as well. But yeah, I was pretty late in the day. So, you know, it's a long day for anybody, and they still gave it up, which was dope. And then the other thing is I utilized my favorite celebrity like sign off, which I've used so many times, is some reference to, yo, can you hook me up, you know?
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's hilarious because it's a total contradiction to what I said of nobody's coming to save you, except that I don't really mean it per se. Like, the first time I did it, I was rapping for Joey Badass, and I said, "Hey, yo, Joey Badass, can Pro Era sign me?" Right towards the end of the freestyle, and it got such a big reaction. And I was like, "Oh, that's a dope thing to do." I think with Soulja Boy, I said something else. I can't remember what I said.
Let me get on Donda 2 or
oh yeah.
Some Soldier Stars. You did. You dropped one of those bars in there.
Yeah, I asked him to hook it up. I think with Toby, I said, "Can I get the feature?" And then here I am saying, "Can I get the cameo in Bad Boys 5?" But yeah, that kind of became one of my signature sign-offs, similar to Sharper Than a Steeple when I'm rocking for the people on Omegle. But yeah, when I'm with A-list celebrities, I tend to end it that way, which is always kind of a fun way to sign off. But yeah, man.
What's the deal with the what was it, albino alligator? And then is that a spoiler? Did you see the movie?
Yeah. We saw an advanced screening of the movie in Chicago.
Let's go.
Yeah, so just a day or two before I was actually here, I got to see the movie. And yeah, there is an albino crocodile in the movie, which I think is fine for me to say because I said it in the freestyle.
It's out there, man.
And the movie's out, right?
Yeah. It's been out for a little bit now.
Oh, okay, it's already been out. So yeah, there's an albino crocodile, so you will understand when you see the flick. But yeah, it was interesting because there were other things. We cleared it with them in advance that I could say, I was like, yo, I think I might throw albino crocodile in. And we cleared that in advance because I didn't want to accidentally like spoil anything too big. And it was kind of funny. They were like, yeah, just don't like deliberately explain the plot of the movie. And I was like, how hilarious would it be if I sat down and was like, scene 1. Like, whatever.
Just pull the script out.
Yeah, that would have been amazing, dude. It's just a 30-minute freestyle. By the end, they're just like, oh my God. This
have them play themselves like reading the script.
Yeah. Really sick movie though, by the way. They both killed it in the movie. It was awesome. I truly enjoyed it. I'm not saying that because I was part of this opportunity. It was really great. And there was some really dope filming stuff. There's actually a BTS clip of Will Smith. Have you seen the BTS clip of Will Smith doing the perspective of the gun, the first person? Dude, it's really sick. I just saw it on Instagram because it was one of the most memorable parts of the movie for me. I was like, how did they shoot this? But there's basically this part where it's like gun perspective. It's kind of like a first person shooter and it's moving so like fluidly, and then the camera will turn back on Will and you see him like this with the gun. And they showed how he shoots it, and he's wearing like an over-the-head like stabilizer rack thing, and Will Smith is controlling the camera. He's like flipping it onto himself and then flipping it towards the gun. It's insane, dude. It'll give you
That's wild.
even more respect for Will Smith as an actor, because yeah, it was pretty awesome to see how they did that. Much, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Hey, thank you. Coming from you, that means so much to me, man. Sincerely.
Falafel.
Oh, man. Hell yeah.
That was cool.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys, man.
Awful to falafel.
I knew you saw that one coming, man.
He got it.
Oh, man.
He got it.
Thank you so much. Nah,
Beautiful.
sincerely, this is so dope for me, and a huge fan of both of you guys, and
That's magnificent.
to be able to do
Thank
my
you.
thing for you guys is really
Yeah,
dope.
That was
posted
tight.
that immediately. I need that.
That was tight.
I need that one. Yeah, that
Hell
gets
yeah.
posted.
Hell yeah.
So dope.
Dope. Yeah, it's cool too. When we were there, Will was mentioning how Martin Lawrence is like that with acting. Like he goes off top on set, so he'll go off script sometimes. And Will was just explaining how he's like, I need the script. You know, I'm about memorizing the lines and preparing and having it all dialed in. But Martin Lawrence is a little more off the cuff, which I thought was fascinating because I think, you know, and with comedy, he drew that parallel as well, that Martin really goes off the cuff with his comedy, whereas Will's a little more planned out. But yeah, it's a cool comparison, I think, for rappers, and freestylers, is like the different methods and the different ways that the brain is oriented to work, the writer versus the freestyler, and how both can really get an incredible result, but they're kind of like two different ways of attacking it.
Even get like an incredible result together. Like, that's interesting for them because they work so differently, yet have been such successful on-screen partners. Like, yeah, that's cool.
For sure. Well, shit, man. Another classic episode of Flow State, man. Can I call the episode classic myself? Fuck it, I just did. Nah, man, another great episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Thank you for tapping in. Lots of great questions, lots of great material. So we're gonna close this thing out the way we always do, with an off-top freestyle. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, flow state, come on, flow state, listen, flow state, come on, flow state, listen, flow state, come on, flow state, listen, yeah, off the top of the dome, the rap pro. Every time I'm rhyming, I be entering the flow, making sure I take it way back to the beginning when I did it just to do it before it was about winning with the stats. Back when only Mack wanted to hit the attic with Brady beat and rap and straight up snap, enter flow state and do my thing. Years later, certified freestyle king. We're taking it further, ready to serve you when I've been coming right up at the tip of this. The way I put the skills down on tracks is ridiculous, and y'all know we be out here facing the challenge. Gotta listen to my body, gotta keep it in balance. Every Friday since September 2020, we've been dropping content aplenty. Always coming through with them Omegle bars, or them gorilla bars, or them behind the scenes visits going really hard, hitting people off, never once going soft. Trying to prove how consistency can turn you to a boss. Trying to prove how to show up on the daily, put the work in all the time and never act lazy. Yeah, we done built the platform to such a degree, and now fans around the whole planet fucking with me. But yo, I gotta make sure that I'm keeping this smooth, keeping my body in order so I can make these moves while I travel around the planet, always hopping on these planes. Couple days at home, a couple days away, the shit's insane. Calendar is truly stacked. Plus I wanna take the content to a whole new level, making sure I never settle. I wanna show up to the best of my ability, so over these tracks I can stretch with mad agility. That's the first priority, because I can't come less than top notch for the fans that's supporting me. Peace to everyone that's watching, we never stopping. Consistency is still a pillar, y'all know I'm locked in. Hey yo, we letting go of 1 Friday, 2 Fridays out the month, just to keep it real, I can't front. I got love for all the fans, we gon' keep on building on the foundation. Over these instrumental tracks, my sound's racing, I'm moving faster, I'm causing disaster, sub 4 minute mile, bringing the style. Whenever I'm spitting, they seeing me going real wild. Now listen, hey yo, the fans, they cherish me. Harry Mack and Harry McKenzie, the similarities, both of us love to play for days. Yeah, all throughout my mental, I'm known to engage. Hey yo, also both of us are all about delivering truth, staying ambitious, seeing it through, staying consistent, as I mentioned, with these rap inventions. And both of us are focused on easing the tension through meditation and levitating, breaking through them limiting self-beliefs. And y'all can tell these freaks are really coming from the soul, surrendering control, write it in big letters, y'all know we keeping it bold. What's the difference? Hey yo, Harry McKenzie likes to stay at home under a lamp, reading books in the zone. Meanwhile, Harry Mack be out there spreading joy, jumping on stage to trap beats, yelling, make noise, let's go. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, check it out, come on, check it out, yeah. Peace to all the artists who be facing their fears, peace to all the artists who be starting their career, peace to all the artists who staying bold in the mind, who's about to take care of it and do it full time. The ones that's ready to leap, ready to make it their main thing. From the mental man, I let this flow sing. Yeah, they be asking what are the distractions, what are the red herrings that might cause the rapping to slip to the side and might cause you to follow a false lead. Well, y'all better believe, here's the thing that I'm saying on the track and it'll stay true. Gotta build it yourself, nobody's coming to save you. I remember way back in time, if you rap, man, your main goal was just to get signed. Thinking, hey yo, that day, bro, that'll be fatal when I'm able to rock stage shows from my label. But nowadays, I say it and yo, I meant it. My name is cemented because I build it independent. I take full responsibility for all my success and my failures as well. That's why the fan base is blessed. Listen, nowadays we got the tools tools. When people say that they can make you blow up, dog, that's not cool. I mean, it's okay if they can truly assist. I'm not against signing with labels. I am not pissed. Yeah, if that works for you and they really got your back and they all about the artist and they love the way you rap and they wanna let you shine and not keep you on the shelf, well, by means, you don't have to do it by yourself. But I say it like this: if you take the mindset, then no one's gonna save you, and they haven't came yet, and they won't come in the future. That'll cause you to make them moves that every artist gonna need to improve, whether you signed or not. You gotta hold it down on your own. You gotta find a way inside the zone. I'm breaking it down when I'm spitting it, witness it while I float over top of this. My freestyles last until apocalypse. I'm doing this. Y'all know I'm dropping the logic. What to do if they give me the most obscure topic? Yeah, y'all know even then it will be going great. If they give me a random word, I'll start to free associate like bird watching. Bird watching? Well, with this topic, I had better use caution. At first, I feel nervous, but then I remember I can start to free associate and burn them embers. From bird watching to flight to spreading wings to tweet to Twitter. Now I'm really doing my thing. From Twitter to post, from post to cereal. It's a miracle. Then I can throw in the fact that I get lyrical. From cereal to bowl, from bowl to pipe, from pipe to weed, from weed to tree. And then we see that I'm back where I started, cause the tree is where the bird builds its home. I free associate from words. Now check the way I expand throughout the rapping universe. They pay attention each and every time I spew the verse. Doing the work, making it fail, making you melt down to a puddle. When I be rhyming, I be growing like my stubble. Shit is rough when I bust. Y'all know I bring them ill flows. Shout to the young freestyler Will O, coming through with the rhythm that we cherish. And up next, they'll make phrases that's coherent. They got the proper mindset, submitting the average level. Y'all know that I'm a savage. The rebel goes against the grain. I came through to kill this. I freestyle from Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. I can't believe I made it happen. When I finished, they made mad noise. I was really locked in with the bad boys. I keep the cypher fly, cause I'm that type of guy. On the mic, I'm live, ride or die with the instrumental, influential voice that I be speaking. Y'all know when it come to these rhymes, I stay seasoned. Doing what I'm feeling with the passion. At them rappers, we laughing. I give no reaction to them. What you're doing, I meditate just like Confucius. I be coming with the hypest music. I strike the truest level of chord, giving them more. They thought it was written for sure, but I am not using no pen. Enter a state of zen when I'm meditating. For these other rappers, man, the flow is devastating. Y'all know the deal off the top of the brain. Ain't no stopping the flames. Y'all know the way that I do this. I'm here to rock the show great. Thanks to everybody that's tapping in with the flow state. Peace.
Let's go.